Except we're not actually going to do that. A while ago, I made a video that covered some of the really great changes in the Yakuza games that no one ever really seems to talk about, like saving anywhere or sprinting, for example. I mostly did that to shake off the heat that I hate the Yakuza games because for some reason some people like to think I do. But anyway, now that I think that the heat has been settled, I will instead light the fires once more and talk about some odd changes made to the games. Now, I'm not going to be talking about things like, oh, Dragon Engine combat sucks, but I am going to be talking about some things that sort of cement RGG Studio as the second worst development studio in all of Japan, obviously only behind the people that made Binary Domain. Some of these you'll look at and you'll think, who cares? Well, I care. You want to know why I care? I don't know, just because I think it's funny or something. When you click in the right stick, do you expect to go first person? Well, naturally you would. The right stick controls the camera, right? Although RGG Studio for some reason thought, let's not do that. And as of Judgment, they changed the button to the left stick. Why? Because they think it's really funny when people try and sprint or something like that. If they're not used to the games, they might go, what the hell, why am I in first person? Or if you just keep on clicking in the right stick and you think that it's broken and then you realize it's the left stick, it doesn't make any sense. Of course, if you are using a mouse and keyboard, well, one, you should seek help, but two, you wouldn't really notice this because the button is, I don't know, it's G or something, I don't give a shit. But you know, while we're on the topic of mental instability, in Kiwami 2, something I often did to cheat, to be honest, was use the keyboard and mouse whenever I would play the darts minigame. For some reason, the cursor just doesn't sway at all, but then when you use a controller, it's constantly readjusting itself in order to add a bit of challenge. And while yes, this is an exclusive to PC thing and also an exclusive to dodgy pieces of shit like me who like to cheat in a minigame, it did rather upset me when Like a Dragon came out and the darts minigame, they fixed it. There's a little bit of sway, see? In both recordings, in Kiwami 2 and Like a Dragon, I am using the beginner dart, so it's not that it has anything to do with the darts, but also in both recordings, the texture quality on the dartboard is terrible. Look, what the hell? Why would... And you know what? While we're talking about cheating and psychological issues, this one goes out to all my 100% completionists out there. For whatever reason, in Yakuza 0, they thought it would be really funny to not have the cheating items for the gambling minigames and that sort of stuff. How hilarious is that? But genuinely, it does just make things easier. I mean, people have things to do, obviously. They can't just spend hours and hours doing the same thing. So that's why the cheating items existed. It was to make things quicker, and then in other instances, just to give you some free money if you wanted. So basically what I'm saying is, RGG Studio, you suck, let me cheat. You want to hear another funny prank that they pulled on the players? I mentioned this in another video, which you can check out right there. There you go, it's up there. But for whatever reason in the Dragon Engine games, they thought it would be a really funny prank just to change some colors. To provide a bit of context, in the PS2 Yakuza games, I believe the colors were the same as they are currently in the Dragon Engine games. But then when Kenzan came out on the PS3, they decided to change it to the colors that were present within all the games up until Kiwami 1. But then obviously there was some sort of shareholders meeting or something like that, and everyone was sitting around and they were discussing, what new things should we add to the Dragon Engine? There was someone suggesting ragdoll physics, someone suggesting better lighting, and then someone at the end of the table just smiled and started laughing to himself. And he said, wouldn't it be funny if we change the colors of the shops and the restaurants to each other? In terms of visual design, it's pretty annoying, especially if you're one of the people who went 0, Kiwami 1 to Kiwami 2. You know what else was a strange visual choice? It's a very minor thing that doesn't necessarily matter at all, but in Kiwami 2, as you can see here, I have the maxed out heat from all the abilities. But then if you're to equip an item, for whatever reason, it shows you a hollowed out heat bar. Why? Why can't you just close that gap? Why does it have to bully me into thinking I can extend my heat gauge further, but I can't because I don't have the items for it? But regardless, it was such bad design that the heat gauge, may it rest in peace, was forever killed off and replaced with the heat hexagon. But while we're on the topic of Kiwami 2 nerfs, you know the iconic Komaki ability, Komaki Knockback, right? Such an incredibly useful ability, right? Well, the developers for Yakuza 6 thought, wouldn't it be funny if Kiryu just forgot half of the abilities he learns and now he doesn't have Komaki Knockback anymore? So then, rightfully so, in Kiwami 2 they added it back, but oh god, it just sucks ass. Then they even kept it in Judgment and you have to be on low health, and then it's just not even worthwhile anyway. You're better off just blocking and then just hitting them. I understand that when you do block an attack in the Dragon Engine games, the enemy's fists will bounce off your guard, but then you can see in Lost Judgment, they evolved it and gave Yagami his own one, which is extremely powerful and is active in 5 frames and can combo. I don't know what they were thinking of, but they must have just thought, how do we make this man more overpowered? Boom. Good Komaki knockback. But in the end, we do all love the Yakuza games. It doesn't matter that they have their silly little stupid bullshit things, they're all great. And as much as I like to shit on the games, I do definitely enjoy them. However, a fun little video like this is definitely not me trying to get revenge at Sega for dating my crush in high school, you piece of shit. Cindy loved me, not you!